Hey guys, welcome to this video. I'm Prajwal from Indie Crypto, and inside this video I wanted to update you on what's going on with the RBI's case in the Supreme Court. So looks like the whole last week where the case was scheduled for hearing in Supreme Court didn't actually happen because of other cases, and the court didn't find the time to address this case. We do know that there are a lot of cases that requires attention, the lot of pending cases, and there were more important cases that did take a lot of time of the court. So at the moment, it's been said that it's likely to be listed on Wednesday, that's on 3rd of October, as per Crypto Qanun, who have been covering this particular case very extensively. They have been giving very good updates. So if you want to go ahead and follow them on Twitter, and the Twitter handle is Crypto Qanun. So the entire last week there were a lot of news about few things. There has been an affidavit that's been filed by the RBI against or for this particular case. So here are a few important points that's been listed by RBI. The first thing is the RBI says that the circular that it gave on April 6th of denying the cryptocurrency exchanges of bank accounts is not violated any kinds of rights of equality, trade and business that's been mentioned in the Constitution. So this is a constitutional case, right? The IMAI, that's Internet and Mobile Association, they have filed a PIL against RBI, mentioning that it has gone ahead and violated the constitutional rights of a particular legal business by not providing them any bank accounts, by denying them that. So RBI clearly responds saying it's not done anything like that, and it has also mentioned another case which was Balco Employee Union case, and it says the PIL is not to be meant as a weapon to challenge the financial decisions as a part of government's administrative power. And a few more points that they have mentioned here. The RBI, rightly, because they are an entity who regulate and they do take interest for the masses of this country, so their response is mainly keeping the masses who are not aware about cryptocurrency in mind. That's actually a very huge number compared to the people who actually know about cryptocurrency or knowledgeable about cryptocurrency. But what about the people who are not knowledgeable about cryptocurrency? So in those cases, the virtual currencies or cryptocurrencies do not provide things like consumer protection, and a lot of these people don't know how to secure a cryptocurrency, how to handle the private keys and stuff like that. They don't understand the volatility behind the cryptocurrency, and a lot of issues might arise because of this. And when there are certain cases that are reported to the authorities, even they don't have a clear structure of how these cases needs to be handled. And this is the main reason even RBI has mentioned in their recent report that we discussed about as well. And and that is the main reason they have also said that it cannot be used as a medium of exchange because of the points that I just mentioned. And in this particular article, they have also gone ahead and mentioned another case that was filed earlier by Siddharth Dalmia and an advocate, Vijay Pal Dalmia, where they have mentioned that cryptocurrencies have been used for mainly illicit and illegal activities like gambling, bribery, corruption, etc., etc., which RBI has also replied to them, saying this particular whole concept of cryptocurrency being used for this illicit activities has been misconceived, and they're not actual facts. uh, that's been provided by them as a whole, and hence it was dismissed as well. But if you actually look onto recent article that was published on September 9th on Bitcoin and News, it clearly covered this particular incident, wherein it mentioned that terrorists prefer cash to crypto because cash is still the king. Because uh, if you look into crypto cannot still exist because of it requires a lot of support, right? It requires a lot of infrastructure, it requires a lot of backing and stuff like that. Even in countries which are developed, which are developing, there still needs a lot of adoption. There still needs to be an infrastructure built for this to accept payments, and there needs to be a method to convert it to fiat, which actually is still the king, because crypto payments are there in a very small fraction. But if you still want to pay for infrastructure, if you still want to pay for talent, if you still want to pay for goods and stuff like that, you still have to convert your crypto to fiat and do that. And if you look into these countries as well, they also require cash to buy goods or stuff like that. So that is the reason it's been mentioned here that cash is still the king. And a lot of authorities are becoming very equipped now in order to look at the trial of cryptocurrency payments, because any kind of crypto payments leaves a trail on the blockchain. They can still be traced, and it's just a matter of time the authorities master that art to go ahead and trail a particular transaction and see how it works. That's actually not a good thing for people who are doing bad things with crypto. And here was another article that I read long time back, which was written by a cybersecurity expert on how proper regulations, proper KYC and AML policies can definitely curb a lot of illicit activities that's been going around with cryptocurrencies. It also mentions that earlier, when the internet was in full scale adoption, and things like PayPal, credit cards were also misused in the beginning by any kind of scammers. So scammers will always be there. Even today, the lot of scammers do different kind of scams. They send you messages, emails saying you've won a lottery, you would have to deposit this kind of funds. These are all scams that used to happen when I was in college. This was like 10-12 years ago, and those kind of scams still exist today. We do see those kind of things every day. So there's no denying that in any kind of technology, in any kind of situation, scammers will always be there. And you can't blame, or you can't curb a particular technology fearing that scamsters will take use of it, because the upsides or benefits of that particular technology outweighs whatever scams that are happening. And RBI also mentioned in the affidavit saying Supreme Court shouldn't go ahead and intervene in any kind of financial decisions that the RBI is taking in terms of crypto or any other matters, because it says that Supreme Court doesn't have that particular expertise to go ahead and do that. That's rightly said, because as we know, it requires a lot of knowledge, because even this technology is new. It requires a lot of understanding to understand this whole cryptocurrency ecosystem, and only then there can be a fair judgment being given. So as per RBI, it has done its homework before going ahead and issuing the circular that was done on April 6th. So if Supreme Court is going to go ahead and pass a judgment, it needs to be aware of everything in the cryptocurrency space, which is very highly unlikely, because there are a lot of cases that are still pending. We have experienced that in the past few days, where cryptocurrency case itself didn't reach the court. So given this particular situation, given the time frame and everything, I don't think Supreme Court will have that kind of time to invest in understanding the entire case. So I think RBI is looking it on a bigger picture from the regulatory stand point. But having said that, it should actually take uh, inspiration from other countries like South Korea, Japan, Australia, and other few countries uh, which are regulating cryptocurrencies in a better way, uh, with an open mind. So what this is doing to those countries is, uh, the world is looking at these countries as the next cryptocurrency hub, which is potentially a very good thing for that particular country's economy. Because given India is a very, uh, what do you say, a uh, technology friendly country, because we have huge talent when it comes to IT, blockchain, and other stuff. And if these kind of things are going to come up, in this going to portray a negative picture of the country, and this may harm the talent that's there in the country as well, which might in term affect, I would not say affect, it might curb the potential industries that can be built. That's the blockchain industry that can be built. So having said that, RBI says it's not against the blockchain. They are pro blockchain is what they're actually saying. But there has to be but they're against, they're not against, they have few concerns about cryptocurrencies. So I think RBI has to take a look into other countries, how they're regulating it, and bring better regulations to cryptos, because uh, people who are knowledgeable about cryptocurrencies, they will definitely go ahead and still invest in cryptocurrencies. There will be different methods, like there have been peer-to-peer methods and other stuff that have come up, that will still go ahead and exist, and there'll be newer methods that'll come up, because cryptocurrencies can't be banned, right? So because RBI doesn't control cryptocurrency, they're not the authority. Nobody is the authority for cryptocurrencies, so they can't go ahead and ban it outrightly, which they've not said as well. But what they can do is they can control whatever entities like banks they have control over, and stop providing their services to any kind of businesses which are uh, providing services to such cryptocurrency businesses. So these are very good articles. If you guys are interested, I'll leave these articles in the description below. You can go ahead and read them. Very descriptive, very informative articles. I highly recommend you to go through them. So the next date for the hearing in the court will be on Wednesday, that is October 3rd. And if you ask me, there's nothing that's going to come out on that date as well, because this particular case might take really long time. You'd have to just embrace that and keep your head down, and still go ahead and share the knowledge about cryptocurrencies with people who are entering new into the space. So that's it in this video, guys. If you have any thoughts, if you want to share your thoughts, or if you have any questions, please go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. I would love to read them. I think the video did go a little long than I expected. And please go ahead and subscribe to our channel if you have not already done, and hit the bell button so that you get notified when we post our next videos. So that's it in this video, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.